Rush Limbaugh, the EIB Network. Happy to have you here on Open Line Friday. So Mr. Snerdley has been peppering me with questions. Actually, the past 2 days. You don't think they're embarrassed? I said, no, I don't. But looky here. From CNN's Money.com website. Shell-shocked CNBC staffers had long flight home. For the CNBC employees who boarded a charter plane right after Wednesday's bruising Republican debate, the red-eye flight was physically smooth but emotionally turbulent. People were exhausted, but also rattled and worried. We were shell-shocked, one source said. The poor reviews were piling up, declaring CNBC the biggest loser of the night. And the moderators, Carl Quintanilla, Becky Quick, knew more would be published by the time the flight landed in New York. So for some flyers, it was a sleepless night. But there was some laughter and some liquor to lighten the mood, and some speculation about how high the ratings would be. At 12:30 p.m. Thursday, they found out 14 million people watched, easily making the much-derided debate the most watched program in CNBC's 30-year history. And because advertisers paid $250,000 apiece, it was also the most profitable night in the network's history, and NBC Universal executive crowed. Now, if I were an honest person at CNBC, and I'm an honest person, if I was CNBC and the biggest ratings I've ever got as a business channel was a debate of Republican candidates, I would seriously question what I'm doing the other 364 days of the year. I really would. I mean, here you are, you're a business channel. And what CNBC really is the Crony corporate channel. I mean, that's really what it is. And its numbers have been, it used to dominate. The numbers were never really huge because it's a really localized market, but they used to dominate the genre, and they don't. I mean, you could put the audience in a thimble, and yet here comes this debate, and they got tune in like they've never had before. They had tune in, and it wasn't because of them. It wasn't because of what they do. It was just the only place you could go to watch what was on. People wanted to see the Republican debate, and they went to the trouble to find out. I had to tell 10 people Wednesday night where to find CNBC on DirecTV. They didn't know where it was. And since they knew I knew, they didn't want to go to the trouble of finding it themselves. And then people said, I don't know where it is. I have Xfinity. I don't have DirecTV. I'm sorry, I can't help you. I don't know what it is on cable channels from market to market. You're on your own. Google Xfinity, have your location services turned on, and you might find a channel. Nobody knew where it was. When I told them it's channel 355 on DirecTV, you mean it's only 5 away from Fox News? Yeah, it's that close to Fox News. And I've never seen it? Guess not. So here you are, you do crony business news, and that's what they do. They chronicle the workings of government and business together. And they do it from a pure left-wing standpoint. And here they run a debate that people never watch that network tune into. I would, if I worked there, I'd say, you know what? It's possible to draw 14 million people to this channel. It's possible to do it. But it ain't happening with what we do normally here. So what do we have to change? But that's not how the media works today. They blame the audience for being too stupid to watch the brilliance that they broadcast. Anyway, back to this story. There was simultaneous crowing and cringing on Thursday after the charter flight landed back in wherever, New York, New Jersey. I guess they moved over to New Jersey, or to New York right now. The CNBC used to be Fort Lee. Employees who spoke on condition of anonymity for this story wished for a do-over and pointed fingers of blame for the chaotic production. Some pointed all the way up to CNBC President Mark Hoffman, who was also aboard the charter flight home. Now there are even calls for changes to future primary debates and predictions that CNBC won't be in the running. Well, we know that now. None of NBC is in the running. And they don't care, folks. Well, now that may... I take that back. The F. Chuck Todds of the world would love to have their shot at these guys. I'm sure that the F. Chucks and the ranking talent at NBC is upset by this, because now they don't get their shot. They don't get direct access to take these Republicans out. That would disappoint them. But right here it is, it says here, everyone feels pretty embarrassed. One veteran staffer said, everyone feels pretty... Staffer. You're not talking about the staff, are you? You want to know if Quintanilla, Becky Quick, and Harwood are embarrassed, right? Well, there's nothing in here about them. This is a story about shell-shocked staffers. After the debate, staffers wondered aloud, will people remember the gripes about Quintanilla, Quick, and Harwood? Will they remember the audience boos and the analyst comments that CNBC lost control of the debate? They second-guessed the opening question of the debate, where Quintanilla asked each caller or candidate, what is your biggest weakness? And what are you doing to address it? Did it start the debate off on the wrong... What do you think, staffers? Can I translate the question for you? What is the primary reason that you are what is the primary reason you're an SOB? What's a worst personality characteristic about you that you will admit to and just be done with it? That's what is your glaring weakness? What it really means is, what the hell is really wrong with you? What about you do you dislike the most? In your self-loathing day, you Republicans, what is it about yourself that you really hate? That's what the question meant. Of course it was downhill after that. First note I made, I was wrong, and I couldn't believe that some of them actually answered it. But there was that built-in Republican effort to be humble and cooperative and